Hello everyone. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to make a crisscross kimono top, also known as a front twist kimono top. So the measurements I'll be needing for this particular top would be my shoulder measurement, which is 16. I'll divide it by 2. That will be 8. Then the kimono length, 40 inches. Sleeve length, 14 inches. Neck width, 3 inches. Neck depth, 1 inch. So I'll start by getting my shoulder here. So I'll measure the neck width from here. Neck width 3 inches from the tip of the paper. So this will be my shoulder length, then this will be my top length. So for the shoulder and the sleeve length, I'll take it from here. So I'll start with the neck width, which is 3 inches. I'll mark it here. Then my shoulder is 16. Shoulder divided by 2 is 8. I'll mark it here. So I'm drafting the back pattern first because I'm going to use the back pattern to cut the front of the kimono. So the back pattern is the first important thing that we need. So I have 8 inches for my shoulder here. Then from the shoulder point, I'm going to get my sleeve length, and I'll be using 14 inches. So I'll mark from my shoulder here, I'll mark 14 inches. Okay. So from the 14 inches, I'm going to come down. I'll slant my shoulder down. You can either use 1 inch or 1.5. But for this particular kimono, I'll be using 1 inch for my shoulder slants. So I'm going to connect that shoulder slant back to the 3 inches that I marked initially. So from the 3 inches, I'll be taking it back to my shoulder slant. Okay, so that's my shoulder slant. Then the 3 inches, I'm going to mark 1 inch down. So I mark 3 inch width, and then the depth is going to be 1 inch. So I'm going to use my pattern master to connect it from the 3 inch to the 1 inch. So that's my back neck. Okay. So now I've determined my neck, back neck, and then my shoulder length and my sleeve length. So now let's get the full length of this kimono. So the full length I have here is 40 inches. So I'm going to measure from the top towards the bottom. So the length of this, my paper here, is 41. So the length I'm using for the kimono is 40, but I made this 41. The whole length here is 41 because of the hemming allowance. So I added the hemming allowance to my paper. So to get the base of my kimono, I'm going to use hip 40. So the hip of the person I'm making this kimono top for is 40. So I'm going to divide 40 by 4, which is 10. So this 10, I'm going to add 2 inches to it. So I'm going to be using 12 inches for the base of my kimono top. So you can add like 3 inches, you can add like 4 inches, you can add up to 5 inches, but let it not be more than 5 inches so that the kimono top doesn't look too big. So because I don't want mine to look so big, I just added 2 inches so that it would fit, it will have a little fitting, but then still look chic. So for the bottom of the kimono is 12 inches. So I'm going to measure 12 at the base. So I'll measure 12 here. Okay. So I'll come back to that. So for the sleeve, I want my sleeve to be 11 inches. So the wideness of the sleeve, where the arm is going to come out from. So I'm going to make it 11 inches from the shoulder slants here. I'll mark 11 inches. So that will be the opening of the sleeve. So this will be my sleeve opening. So from this sleeve opening, I'm going to connect the sleeve opening all the way down to the length of the kimono. So I'll just curve it in like this and just try to slant it towards the 12 inches. So that's it. Okay, so that's that for the back of my kimono top. So I'm going to cut it out. Starting from the neck. So remember it was 1 inch, 3 inch. So I'll be cutting this out, following the shoulder slants. So like I said, if you want your kimono to be a bit bigger than this, you can add up to 5 inches after dividing your hips by 4. You can add up to 4 inches, you can add up to 3 inches or 5 inches. But personally, I would like to add 2 inches. The neck area, the shoulder and sleeve, armhole opening, and that. So I'm going to bring my fabric now and cut the back. The back would be cut on fold, so my fabric will be cut on fold. I'm using 4 yards of Duchess for this project. Okay, so I have pinned the pattern to my fabric. This is the fabric I'm going to be using. It's a Duchess, a green Duchess fabric. So I'm going to cut on 1/2 inch. I'm adding 1/2 inch to the seam allowances. The arm side, the up opening side, I'm going to add 1 inch, but I'm going to add 1/2 inch on all the sides. I've already added 1 inch at the bottom, so I'll just add 1/2 inch on this other sides. So like I said, this part is cut on fold, the sides are cut on fold, side of the back. So I'm going to add 1 inch at the arm side. Then I'll be adding 1/2 inch at this side. Okay, so I have cut the back. So I added 1/2 inch at the top, 1 inch at the bottom, and then 1/2 inch at the sides. So I decided to add 1/2 inch at the side so that the allowance I'm adding to my hip will just be 2. So plus this 1/2 now is 2.5 actually. So by the time I sew it by that 1/2 inch, it will be 12 at the end of the day. So I still added 1/2 inch on this side, and then I still added 1/2 inch down here. So the allowance I have here now is 1.5. Okay, so that's it for the back. So we'll proceed to cut the front. Alright, so to get the front part of the kimono, the twist kimono, I've already folded my fabric into 2. So this time around I folded it this way. So the front part of it is not cut on fold, it's 2 separate pieces. So I folded it into 2 and placed the back on the edge. So I have this extra edge on this side. So first thing I'm going to do now, is to measure the full length again. So the full length of this, the back was 40, like I mentioned earlier. So we're going to measure 40 and divide 40 by 2. So I've already done this, but I just want to re-explain it because my camera wasn't recording. So I'll get the midpoint of the top to the bottom, which is 20. Half of this full length is 20. So I marked my 20 here. So from the beginning of this 20, I'm going to draw a straight line. So I drew a straight line all the way to the end. Then from this point where the 20 starts, I'm going to measure 30 inches this way on that line. So I marked 30 inches here and then measured 30 inches all the way to the end of the kimono. So 30 inches this way all the way to the end, to the edge of the kimono is 30 inches. For the neckline of the front, you're going to shift this one away to get your neck. So we're doing a V-neck at the front. So at the point where this 3-inch, remember it was 3 inches we measured sideways for the back. So at that point, I'm going to mark that point. Then the neck depth, the V-neck depth that I want is 8 inches. So from that 3 inches, I'll measure 8 inches slanted like this, then mark it. Okay. So after marking it, I'll take the back away and then connect that point to this point. So I've already done it. I've cut it already. I just want to explain it. So I'll connect that point to the 8 inches, the 3 inches point to the 8 inches. So that will be the front neck. From the point where the 8 inches stops, I'll just connect it slanted until it joins with this 30 inches line. So I connected it from here, from the 8 inches point, V-neck point. I'll connect it this way and just slant it and blend it into the line where my 20 inches started, and then where my 20 inches is, which is also the line where I measured 30 inches. So I've already cut it out. I had to place it back to re-explain it. So I've already cut it out. So you take out the back and then cut it out this way. So that's the front. So I'm still going to cut it the size of the back, same size as the back, just with this extra extension. So remember, this extra extension is 30 inches long. So I'm going to notch the middle of the back neck like that. So this is my front piece, which is 2. This is my front piece, and then this is my back piece. So I'm going to pin it together so that I can understand how to join it. So I'll first take out the back piece, the pattern from the back piece. So I'll open the back piece. So I've opened the back piece, then I'll take one of the front pieces and place it on top of the back piece. So I'm going to pin shoulder to shoulder and sides. So this is the extended part going that way. This is the sides and this is the shoulder. So the shoulder to shoulder. So pin the shoulders together, pin the shoulders. Then we are going to pin the sides. So I'll pin the second side, shoulder to shoulder. So the middle should look like this, with this and this extra in the middle. These extra extensions in the middle. Okay. I have joined the shoulders. The shoulders have been joined. The sides have been joined. I also hemmed the edges of the sleeves. I hemmed it in. I also hemmed the base of the dress, starting from the top here all the way. I hemmed it round all the way to this end. From this end, I hemmed it round all the way to this end. And then I've also joined the side here, has been joined, and then the arm opening has been hemmed as well. And the shoulder has been joined. So after joining the front piece to the back piece like this, we still have these two extensions out. So I'm going to be showing you how to create the crisscross from these two. So you're going to put one over this way, this one coming this way, and then this one going this way. So you can choose to swap it, or you can choose to do it this way. Either ways, whichever preference you have. So this one is going to be coming this way. The one coming from that end will come straight up this way. Then the one coming from this end will come straight up this way. So this part of the front crossing over to that end, and that part of the front crossing under to this end. So after crossing it over like this, the next step is to pin this end to this end. So we have this part of the front going under here and coming out from here, and then this part of the front going over it. You can switch it either ways. So after crossing it like that, you bring the front part here and the front part here and place it together like this. So you're going to stitch this part together. Just stitching it on the back side of the fabric. So that end and this end together, and we're going to stitch this part together. So I've joined these two pieces together, the one coming from here and here. So I've joined it together here, and I've pressed it open. I've ironed it open. I've also ironed the shoulder and the other parts. So watch this carefully. I'm going to bring this end to this other end like this. So the two flaps, I'll bring it together like this. Then I'll bring the neck, the part that I notched, I'll bring it this way and pin all three together. So the notched part will be directly on that sewn line. So I'm going to pin this all the way this way, and then pin this side all the way this way. But I'm not going to sew it to the very end. When I start sewing from this end, I will leave a little space at the bottom here. And then when I start sewing at this end, I'll leave a little space at the bottom here for ease. So I'll pin this. So I'll come this way. So see the space that I'm leaving, it will be about 3 inches space. Leave a space here. So by the time I sew this, it will go all the way around to this end. But then I'm going to take out the last pins so that this space can be free enough for the twist to move around. So by the time I sew it, this part would be like this. After sewing it, you can use your overlocking machine to weave the edges, and then also to weave the edges of the inner parts with your overlocking machine. You can use matching threads. You can get green thread to weave it. I'll take it to the sewing machine now and sew it around. Okay, so I have sewn the neck. So this one came this way, and then this other one came under here, sewn to the neck side. So we've created our twists. So now I'm going to put it on the mannequin so you have a better idea of how it looks like.